The HTTP 404 not found, 404 page not found, or server not found error message is a Hypertext Transfer Protocol standard response code in computer network communications to indicate that the browser was able to communicate with a given server, but the server could not find what was requested. Further, when the requested information is found but access is not granted, the server may return a 404 error if it wishes to not disclose this information, as well. The website hosting server will typically generate a 404 not found web page when a user attempts to follow a broken or dead link, hence the 404 error is one of the most recognizable errors encountered on the World Wide Web. When communicating via HTTP, a server is required to respond to a request, such as a web browser request for a web page, with a numeric response code and an optional, mandatory, or disallowed message. In the code 404, the first digit indicates a client error, such as a mistyped uniform resource locator. The following two digits indicate the specific error encountered. HTTP's use of three-digit codes is similar to the use of such codes in earlier protocols such as FTP and NNTP. At the HTTP level, a 404 response code is followed by a human-readable reason phrase. The HTTP specification suggests the phrase, not found, and many web servers by default issue an HTML page that includes both the 404 code and the not found phrase. A 404 error is often returned when pages have been moved or deleted. In the first case, it is better to employ URL mapping or URL redirection by returning a 301 moved permanently response, which can be configured in most server configuration files, or through URL rewriting. In the second case, a 410 gone should be returned. Because these two options require special server configuration, most websites do not make use of them. 404 errors should not be confused with DNS errors, which appear when the given URL refers to a server name that does not exist. A 404 error indicates that the server itself was found, but that the server was not able to retrieve the requested page. Some websites report a not found error by returning a standard web page with a 200 OK response code, falsely reporting that the page loaded properly. This is known as a soft 404. The term, soft 404, was introduced in 2004 by Ziv Bar Yosef et al. Soft 404s are problematic for automated methods of discovering whether a link is broken. Some search engines, like Yahoo and Google, use automated processes to detect soft 404s. Soft 404s can occur as a result of configuration errors when using certain HTTP server software, for example with the Apache software, when an error document 404 is specified as an absolute path rather than a relative path. This can also be done on purpose to force some browsers to display a customized 404 error message rather than replacing what is served with a browser-specific, friendly error message. Some proxy servers generate a 404 error when the remote host is not present, rather than returning the correct 500 range code when errors such as hostname resolution failures or refused TCP connections prevent the proxy server from satisfying the request. This can confuse programs that expect and act on specific responses, as they can no longer easily distinguish between an absent web server and a missing web page on a web server that is present. In July 2004, the UK telecom provider BT Group deployed the CleanFeed content blocking system, which returns a 404 error to any request for content identified as potentially illegal by the Internet Watch Foundation. Other ISPs return a HTTP 403 forbidden error in the same circumstances. The practice of employing fake 404 errors as a means to conceal censorship has also been reported in Thailand and Tunisia. In Tunisia, where censorship was severe before the 2011 revolution, people became aware of the nature of the fake 404 errors and created an imaginary character named Amar 404, who represents the invisible censor. There are soft 3xx, where content is returned with a status 200 but it comes from a redirected page, such as when missing pages are redirected to the domain root home page. The web server software developed by Microsoft's Internet Information Services, returns a set of substatus codes with its 404 responses. The substatus codes take the form of decimal numbers appended to the 404 status code. The substatus codes are not officially recognized by IANA and